guys, last night I was watching some videos on YouTube and I saw a video that looked like a scrap page that was whitewashed. So I said, well, I'm going to give that a try because, you know, I've been doing a lot with paint and I've been using a lot of different things to paint with. So I've kind of learned a couple things in the process. First of all, I'll go through the few pages I just did. I did this. This is my first one that I did. It came out okay. I tried some other colors. This is like a ivory. I did pink. Pink came out okay. This one is done with gesso, which I did not. I think I like the white paint more than I like the gesso. The gesso, I think if you did 2 coats of gesso, it would look okay, but I think I like the white paint more. This one I did in blue, and this one I did in black. I wasn't too crazy about the black. Oh, hold on. I also did a purple. One thing I did learn is that you do have to do it twice. This magazine, whatever these papers are, they don't want to be painted. They just stick out, but that's fine with me. You have to use 2 coats because if you look at this blue one here, it is streaky. And then this one here, I did with 2 coats and there's really no streaks at all. Gesso page, streaky. Pink page, streaky. Yellow page, not too streaky except up here. So I think that 2 coats, a little bit of drying time in between, which doesn't take long, is the key. So what are you going to need? You're going to need scraps. If you do not have those scraps together, you are going to need glue. If you do have those scraps together, like I have a piece of this paper here, this is all done. This is done on a magazine page with magazine pages. I just took decorative scissors and cut strips. I ripped strips, anything with color. As you could see, I've got a few of these pages here. I spent like a whole weekend one time just putting some of these pages together. And they're a lot of fun. They're a lot of fun to do. They're a lot of fun to use with die cuts. I got a rooster. You can call them scrap box pages. You can call them serendipity papers. Either way, whatever you call them, you're using up your crap, right? So use up those scraps, right? So you're going to need some of these papers. I have a whole stack. See, I still have this many, plus I'm sure I got a ton more of these pages in this box here. You are going to need some baby wipes. You are going to need matte paint. I don't suggest using glossy. I definitely suggest sticking with matte paint. The matte gives a better bite, and I also think the matte gets into the grooves better. And just so you know, your hands are going to get painty. It's just going to happen. If you don't want this to happen, put on gloves. But you're going to be a mess, okay? I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Take your paper, glue it better than I did. I apparently did a really lousy job gluing. And crunch it up. You can do it more than once. You can do it 100 times. You can make it so that it's all crunchy-wunchy. I just go through a couple times and give it a crunch. Okay? Crunch it up. And you have a nice wrinkly page. Take your paint, give it a little shaky. Squirt it right on the page. Don't go on too thick, right? You're not going to go on. I went on too thick with a couple of them, and I ended up with more paint on my hands than on the paper. Take your baby wipe, fold it a few times to limit the amount of paint you get on your hands, and wipe it around on here. Okay, get it on there, wipe it. Push any little flappies or corners that pop up, like I have happen all the time, just push them down with the paint. It is what it is, right? Go ahead, wipe this around on the paper. Okay, your first layer of paint. You can go more than 2 layers if you want. It all depends on the coverage of that you want of these images, right? It all depends on that coverage. And also be careful not to rip the paper. You know, don't go too nuts when you're wiping it on. Just a quick wipe. Give it a second, you know, twiddle your thumbs, and do another coat. Because this really doesn't take long. That baby wipe dries, you know, it's pretty drying. My hands are pretty dry right now from that thing. Second coat. I use the same napkin unless it feels like a thicker paint, you know, because even some of these cheap apple barrel paints, they are not all made equal. Some of them are thicker than others, even the matte. You know, it's like they take whatever crap they've got left. Like when you buy bacon end cuts, and they just take whatever pieces of crap bacon they got left and throw it in a package. That's like what they do with this paint. They take whatever crap is not good, and they throw it in there. See, so there you go. And it's not too streaky, right? This, you know, these pages are really like precisely cut into lines and torn into lines. You can make your own serendipity papers by just tearing pages up, you know, and I do that a lot too. I just did these this way because I was bored and I like the way they look, cut up in the lines. But I might make some more because one of my goals this month is to use up some of this big box of scraps. So I'm going to make more of these pages. And when I do, I am going to do some with the scrappy papers that I've got in there. You know, I mean, I have painty papers that I wasn't too crazy about. I got some scrapbook pages. You're going to want your pages to be pretty vibrant. You're not going to want to do a bunch of the same exact color or the same color family. You want to mix it up. You want it to look like this so that all of these little bits pop through the paint. If you feel more comfortable using gesso, absolutely use a gesso. But if you do use a paint, I highly suggest using a matte paint to give it that whitewash finish look, you know. I really like, this is probably like my favorite one. I really like how that one came out. And I do like this ivory. But some of the other colors, I didn't put enough paint. You know, I might do another coat of pink. But when you crinkle it, the paint settles in these grooves really nicely. And don't over wipe it, because then the wipe starts to take paint off. So we'll do another one. Okay, let's grab one with some color on it. I like, see, this has got some color on it. Crumple it up. Okay, crumple it good. And maybe we'll try maybe we'll try the pink again, and we'll do 2 coats of pink. See, like I got all my ends, my little end pieces are all, and I'm not going to bother gluing them back down at this point because I can just fix that when I'm about to use it. So I will use this really light purple. How's that? This lilac called Lavender Sachet. Okay. Throw it on. Take your wipe. Fold that and fold this like that. I just fold it into quarters and just slap it in there. You know, wipe your flippy uppies down. You know, do this. Get in the creases, get in the little nooks, okay? This one I'm really trying not to leave white marks. I'm seeing if I can just kind of throw it in where it needs to be, if I can, because it kind of leaving a cool texture. You know, it's like a mess. And of course, save your painty wipes, because you can use them to make pretty flowers with. So, blow on it a little bit maybe. get the rest of this side kind of done. You know, it's about putting on as much paint as you feel comfortable putting on, really. Did I just put that away? I did. We're going to put on another coat. Another thing you can even try doing is if you don't have cheap paints that, you know, show through everything, and all you have are expensive paints, I bet you what would look really cool is if you had a thick coating of paint on it, right? And then you sanded it down. Again, your paper would have to be a lot more stable than my paper is right here, because as you can see, my paper is like all peeling up, and that the sandpaper would not like that too well. But if you took, you know, if you had this really glued and maybe with a little bit of matte medium on top, and then, you know, if matte medium sticks for you, it's not going to matter. You're going to sand it off afterwards, right? I bet you that would look pretty cool. And then you can just pull out as much of the color around it as you want to, right? So I like how that one came out. Hold on, I'll just pick it up and show you so it's not in the glare. But as you can see, your hands are going to get painty. So before, well, I'll just pick it up while I got painty hands. So that is really, you know, I brought out some of those colors. I really went into the grooves of it and patting it, you know, rubbing the paint in and then patting it really takes away the streaks. So that would be my suggestion for that. No streaks. Pat it on there after you get it rubbed in, and then wipe off little pieces on the high points, you know, little pieces of color on the high points, and let the paint settle into the low points. So that is my idea for tonight. I hope you guys give it a try and let me know how it goes. I'd love to see your videos. And don't forget, I stream on Wednesday nights at 7:30 Eastern Time. So this is it for tonight. I will be back with some more stuff this week. Ta-ta for now.